Hey everybody, Cody with Princess Craft RV. Come along with me today as we do our technical walkthrough on a 2025 Aliner Scout Lite model. So let's start right up front as we typically do and go over how to get this thing hooked up to your tow vehicle. So it's going to ride on a 2-inch tow ball, manual tongue jack for cranking that tongue up and down to get onto the tow ball. Once you get all coupled on, lowered down onto the ball, you're going to latch that down. You want to make sure this clip in the back here is actually latched on. You should not be able to just flip that back up without pulling that lever. This lever right here will get you released when you're ready to release from the tow ball. Once you get your jack retracted all the way up, you're going to want to pull this pin out here, take the wheel off for travel so it doesn't get drug and broken while you're in transport. A couple other things you're going to hook up to your tow vehicle are going to be your safety chains. Now while these are hooked up, you do want to cross them underneath your coupler so they create kind of a basket. You're going to have your 7-pin cord here, which is going to control all your lighting. And if the tow vehicle is equipped with a brake control, it'll also send your brake signal through here to control the brakes on the trailer. Last but not least is going to be your breakaway cable to this little breakaway box right here that's going to need to attach to the receiver hitch on the tow vehicle with its own clip or pin, or however you want to attach it. Just needs to be attached, not routed through the chains, and just attached directly to the receiver hitch. And if you were to get completely separated from your tow vehicle, this little cable is going to pull out of this box and apply the brakes on the trailer, as long as you have a good 12-volt battery mounted to the trailer. All right, let's keep on moving. We're gonna have 4-corner stabilizer jacks on this unit. That's right, even on the smallest Aliner, we still get 4-corner stabilizers. This is a 19mm or a 3/4 inch socket that you can use on your drill to run these up and down, or you can do a hand crank. Now these are just to stabilize the trailer to minimize the rocking. They are not to be used to lift or level the trailer. Stabilization only. Moving on around to the side here, we're going to find our solar input port here. So you can carry some portable solar with you to recharge your 12-volt battery on board. The panel will need its own solar controller, and it's going to plug right in here and then help keep that 12-volt battery charged up when you have some sunlight. It's a couple of tags right here on the side here. We're going to have our white tag with some yellow highlighting. It's going to be your tire sizing and tire pressure label. One below that's going to be our VIN tag. It's going to have all your unit information and weights on it. Let's keep on moving back. We've got our Dometic cover here. This can be removed. There's nothing to do in here except maybe some cleaning. It's more for service access with the type of refrigerator that's in this unit. Right underneath here, we're going to find our drain outlet. We're going to take this cap off, and this allows us to drain our sink on the Scout Lite, so that you're going to hook an adapter on here that can adapt down to a water hose size, and then you can run that water hose off to a portable tote tank or some other type of capturing device for your sink water. Wheels and tires. Check that tire pressure, keep the tire pressure maintained just like you do on your tow vehicle according to that sticker that we talked about. Lug nut torque, it is recommended that you check that before each trip, and torquing to at least 100 foot-pounds in a star pattern. City water inlet right here. So this unit, the Scout Lite, does not have an onboard reservoir, so it is only city water capable. You're going to hook your freshwater drinking water safe hose up with a pressure regulator straight in, which is going to provide your water to your sink. Over on the door side, starting in the rear here, we do have a baggage door. It's going to be held open with a holdback latch right there, and it just gives you some nice wide open storage. On this unit, I do like to point out that our air conditioner power cord is in here. If you're having some AC problems, you may check that, make sure you didn't knock it loose or jiggle it loose or anything like that. And this baggage door is keyed locked. Air conditioner is going to be underneath this cover here. It is going to be a through wall unit. Cover comes off. Make sure you remove the cover if you're going to run the air conditioner. It will overheat and burn up if you leave the cover on. So that's going to come off, and once you use it and you're ready to hit the road again, you're going to put the cover back on. The bottom of it will be your stretchy side, and the rest of it's going to be all your snaps. I'm just going to fish that cover back on there, and then snap it back to the wall so it makes it to your next destination. All right, so we're just about done out here. A couple more things. Entry step. So to stow this for travel, you're just going to lift it up and slide it in. Once it's all the way back, that's going to be its travel position. When you get to your next campsite, you're just going to grab it, pull it out, and let it rest down. You do have an amber porch light out here. It's going to be switched on the bottom to turn it on and off. All right, we're going to do the breakdown at the end of the video, so let's hop inside and go over what's in there. All right, here we are inside our 2025 Aliner Scout Lite. Let's start right here at the entry door, and what do we got? So we've got one switch. This is going to be for our entry light to light it up when you're coming in at nighttime. We've got this grate right here. This grate is actually for fresh air return for your air conditioner. So make sure we don't block that up. And then our fire extinguisher is going to mount and hold right here. Now at the front of the trailer, we've got a couch seating, and it's got some storage underneath it, so you can access that storage by lifting these panels if you've got larger items that need to go in this way, or you can go through your storage doors this way. So however, whatever you've got that you need to fit, you got a couple of different options on how to get it into those storage units. Now with the refrigerator, you're going to open it up and you're going to have a control knob right here on the inside. 0 to 7 being your temperature setting, 7 the coldest, 0 is off. So choose your setting, get it nice and cold. While you're traveling, it does have a snap on top here to snap that shut, keep it from accidentally popping open while you're traveling. Over here at the sink, because of our city water connection, this is going to be cold water only. You do have a sink strainer, so if you need to hold a little water in there, you can. And that, what do you call that? Faucet. Do we need to start over?
We can keep going.
Okay.
I'll get a shot of the faucet.
Okay.
Later.
And the faucet is collapsible, so that has to collapse down for our walls that are going to fold down. Underneath the sink, we do have storage. You can see our waterless P-trap there and our drain line that goes directly out to that drain underneath the trailer. Right underneath the sink, you'll see our 110 GFI outlet. This is going to control your 110 outlets in the camper. If this thing is tripped, those outlets don't work, so check those if you're having some problems. Now over here on the other side, we're going to have our air conditioner mounted through the wall. We do have a couple of more storage doors just underneath it. And then in the back, we have our dinette that is also going to make into our bed space. So let's go over how to move this down into making a bed real quick. First thing we're going to need to do is actually take our table and move it out of the way. So you'll see at the bottom of the table, once the legs are all collapsed, there is a Velcro strap to help secure that and keep it from the legs from flopping out while you're traveling or while it's in folded mode. And then for the front here, we're going to have these slats here that are going to sit across underneath your cushions. You want to take these and space them out. Once you kind of get them spaced out, you're just going to take your cushions, you're going to fold them all flat. And you now have a bed. And putting it back up into a dinette is just the opposite. So let's do that, and I'll show you a couple other things that are back here. All right, so underneath each dinette, you do have some storage that is accessible underneath the door side. This is also the same one that is accessible from the outside. The one on the driver's side is actually screwed shut, and they do that because this is where all of your electrical comes in to your power distribution panel, so they don't want you storing stuff in here. But in your power distribution panel, you'll see we've got your 110 breakers and your 12 volt fuses. Recommend that you carry some spares with you on the 12 volt fuses. And then across the back, you could gently lay some things in there that may fit. Just as you can see, there is wiring across there, so it's really for service access. You can store some stuff in there, but be real careful that you don't snag and pull any wires loose. All right, so these slats are actually going to store right here at the underneath the dinette. They just slide down in this pre-cut space. Get our table. Do our legs. When you do these, make sure you get the hinge actually locked into position. And then slide it back into place and you're good to go. So that covers the inside. Let's do how to open and close the roof. All right, so here's how we close this down, and this is pretty standard for all A-liners, but first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to come inside and you want to make sure everything is below your hinge line. And when I say your hinge line, we're talking about this hinge right here that is for your A-walls that are going to come down. Everything in here needs to be below those lines. So our cushions, our faucet, if we have a cooktop, anything like that, you want to have them folded down out of the way. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to close our dormer. So we've got two little mini A-walls in here that have these little latches. We're just going to tip those down and in like that. And now there's a pull strap right here in the middle of the front wall. We're going to grab that and pull that down. And that's going to help pull that outside piece closed. All right, once you're outside, you can kind of push this wall down. You're going to grab here, or you can grab the handle if you can reach it, and you just want to pull it the rest of the way down. Once you've got it close to closed, you're going to use your latches here to pull it the rest of the way down. Give it a little push, and then pull that latch into place, and do that on both sides to get a nice tight seal. All right, let's hop back inside and let's go over how to do the walls. All right, now that we've got our dormer closed, we're gonna do our A-walls. So one thing I wanna point out that A-liners put in is they've talked about this warning, the ceiling lights must be cooled before you close it down. So if they've been on a long time, make sure they're not super hot. We don't wanna cause any issues. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna unlatch our A-walls. I like to do the rear two latches because they can be the furthest away once you go to reach things. And then we're going to do the other driver's side wall latch, and we're going to go ahead and tip this down, and this rubber bumper is going to rest right on the cabinet, and let that wall down gently, and it's going to rest right on the other wall. Hold that door up, piece up, step out, lay that down, and now we can go ahead and close that door. And now what we're going to do is we're going to collapse our roof, and to do that we're going to go to the rear roof panel. You're going to grab it with both hands and you're going to give it a good tug, and that pulls it down. Once it's the rest of the way down, you're just going to pop that roof latch up and pull it shut, and do the same thing on the other side, and you are ready to go. And putting it up is just the opposite of these steps. All right guys, thanks for hanging with me as we went through that. But if you want to check out this A-liner or any other A-liners, check us out at princesscraft.com. All right guys, thanks for hanging with me as we went through that. If you want to see more about this A-liner or any other A-liner, come check us out at princesscraft.com or visit us in Round Rock, Texas or Katy, Texas.